everyone. This lesson will be about how to streamline your character's design and simplify it while still retaining the personality and details that make them unique. A word you'll often hear in character design books and tutorials is appeal. And this has always been somewhat of a nebulous, vague term despite it being used so much. It's something used by a lot of artists in animation especially, but it's applicable to character design in general. It typically refers to how well your character clicks with the viewer, how a design has this certain X factor that makes someone connect with it more easily. This can be hard to define to a single quality or technique that can be taught, but just remember that all these principles that I'm teaching you are in service of making appealing characters. Now, while appeal seems to be so intangible, it's something we can recognize in good design. When you see a certain character that immediately stands out to you and makes you want to learn more about them, that's recognizing appeal. Even non-artists can spot it. That's sometimes the reason why potential readers are turned off of a comic, because the art doesn't appeal to them or it's distracting in some way. That's why character design is so important, because characters are the gateway into the story and who readers will be spending the journey with. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean, of course, that characters have to be cute or pretty to have appeal. This applies to characters of all kinds, especially the less conventionally pretty ones. What we want are characters who are interesting to look at. A character can be considered ugly or homely in their world and still be appealing enough for audiences to connect with them or find them interesting. So take, for example, this guy here that I'm drawing. He's this kind of squat, fat, hairy, grouchy man, but his design is still done with character in mind, not simply to be just a gross guy. He has clear shape language, his features are distinguished, and his personality comes through quickly in the design. Appeal doesn't necessarily favor one drawing style over another. It's about knowing how well to use your style to create characters that the readers can see themselves in, or connect with in some way. So take a look at my characters here, like the little pilot and Patches and whatnot. They have dot style eyes that are typically considered less expressive than eyes with whites and pupils, and yet the style of drawing characters remains prevalent in comics and children's books for a reason. Appeal can be attained with simplicity. You just have to know what you're doing. For example, by placing the eyes too far apart, this can make her look wall-eyed and unengaged. While I'm not going for realism here, we do want them to feel alive, so by moving the eyes closer together here, it makes them look a little more present, like they're actually looking at something. I also understand the importance of consistency throughout the design to maintain appeal. I don't think Pilot Girl should have eyes like these, for example. It's not right. Or she shouldn't have hands like this either. Again, not really consistent with the style. Now, you may be wondering how this relates to simplification. As you can see here, the designs of my characters tend to favor more simplified features for consistency. There's a common misconception that simplicity means low effort. Simplifying your characters and streamlining your designs is crucial if you're going to be drawing them over and over again. If you're a comic artist especially, I want to make clear how important it is that you're economical with your details. You'll drive yourself crazy trying to draw the same little details on your characters over and over that the reader will barely notice. What simplification requires is that we prioritize details. What this means is that we need to treat different areas with more attention than others. For example, the face is typically where most of the detail will go, so we don't want too much around that will distract from it. Details can create a focal point, so make sure you put details in the areas you want to lead your reader's eyes to. It's also the mark of a beginner to place too much attention on detail and ignore the form and composition overall. They want to showcase their skill by showing how much effort they can, and time they put into drawing each hair or eyelash, and while the rendering, may be good, this instead shows a lack of decision-making and prioritizing. There is also the reality of time. Deadlines are something you will have to deal with as a professional artist, and you need to save time where you can. You may initially see simplifying your designs as an unfortunate compromise, but your art will suffer in the long run if you're trying to do too much with too little time. Now I'd like to take a look and try something here. We're going to simplify a character design, and I'm going to show you how I go about doing this. So we're going to see what we can streamline or even omit while deciding what details are crucial to the character. So a good way to think about it is like pack light and bring only the essentials. So I'll show you my process a little bit here when we're going to simplify this fella right here. First, we want to get the shape down. Now what I'm doing here is I'm breaking down the overall shapes he's made of. So for example, we got a nice circle here, nice sort of diamond shape for his cheekbones, some kind of jagged triangular and diamond patterns. There's a big rectangular neck, etc. Breaking characters down, or real people down, into basic shapes is a great way to start with simplifying. Whoops, I did that on the wrong layer. Classic artist mistake. Thankfully, we have our history tool. I meant to do that on a different layer. All right. Now it's a little different. There we go. So lay in our shapes here. I'm still keeping the defining features that I can, but as you can see here, there's a lot of detailed lines that I think we should be able to omit if possible. Let's see. And we can add a little bit of those side lines there if we think they add something. And you know what? We'll do another cheekbone line. What we're doing, we're making decisions, what to keep. I don't necessarily need a temple line. It's part of the head. You know what? I think I can make that head a little bit shorter. Oh yeah, I like that a little better. There we go. Let's see. We can even a little bit lines, like necklines aren't always necessary, but they can if you want. We're going to make a simple necklace. Wasn't going to add the Adam's apple line, but I thought it's simple enough. Look at that one. There we go. Get that shape a little more. Oh, can't forget his earring. We can keep that. And there we have it. We've simplified our design while maintaining its style and personality. Simplification, like so many other things we're learning here, is a skill that you'll develop over time and find easier, clever ways of working with. So in our next video, we'll be making that final pass at our original characters to be posed and ready for action. Thanks for watching.